Silence is often misunderstood. Many believe it means weakness or indifference. But in truth, silence is one of the most powerful moves a man can make. The moment you stop chasing, you shift the balance. She doesn't forget you. She begins to notice you in ways she never did before. When you've been the one always texting first, always keeping the connection alive, she feels certain about where she stands with you. But the day you stop, whether because you're tired of chasing or simply ready to focus on yourself, that certainty disappears. And what fills its place? Curiosity, doubt, even desire. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Your silence forces her to think, to wonder, to question. That mental itch grows stronger the longer you remain calm. Take Michael's story. A financial advisor from Denver, he had always been the one pushing conversations with Karen, an interior designer. Then, one week, he pulled back not in anger, but in choice. Within days, she was viewing his posts, lingering at social events, watching him more intently than before. Michael said nothing, yet his silence spoke louder than words. Why? Because people crave certainty. When you're always available, there's no mystery. But the moment you step back, she's left asking, why isn't he talking to me? And in trying to answer that question, she invests more energy in you than she realizes. Most men ruin this moment. They panic, rush in with excuses, and hand her back the comfort she was just beginning to lose. But a stoic man holds steady. He lets her watch, lets her wonder, and continues to live his life with calm confidence. Seneca wrote, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay. The same is true for silence." The longer you delay the urge to explain yourself, the more magnetic you become. Michael didn't explain. He went hiking, spent time with friends, and posted glimpses of his lifestyle not to provoke her, but because that was his life. And as he grew, her curiosity grew. She began to initiate conversations just to break the tension created by silence. This is the first shift from comfort to curiosity. When you stop talking, don't rush to fill the void. Let her feel it. Let her realize the silence has weight. Epictetus taught, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Her reaction is an outside event. What matters is how you respond with composure, discipline, and focus on your own path. Silence is not emptiness. It is presence. It is strength. And it is the first sign the dynamic has changed in your favor. Silence unsettles the mind. At first, she only watches you more closely. But when that isn't enough, she often breaks the quiet with a small a random message that seems casual but carries weight. It may look like nothing. "Hey, did you see that show last night?" Or a simple "what's up?" On the surface, harmless. But underneath, it's her way of asking, am I still in control? Do I still have your attention? Human psychology craves certainty. When you respond eagerly, she knows she can still reach you with minimal effort. Your silence loses its power. Most men fail here. They see the text, feel a rush of excitement, and pour energy back into her hands. Marcus Aurelius warned, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Her message is an outside event. You cannot control it, but you can control your response. And the strongest response is calm, measured, without overinvestment. Think of David, a lawyer from Chicago. After pulling back, his partner Amanda sent him small messages. "I just passed that coffee shop you like." He didn't rush to explain, didn't send emojis or apologies. Instead, he answered briefly, steady, showing he wasn't dependent on her attention. Over time, she leaned in more. Her casual texts grew into deeper attempts at connection. Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." Freedom here means resisting the trap of random texts. You are not ignoring her, nor playing games. You are simply proving you are not controlled by small tests. So when that message appears, pause, breathe, recognize it for what it is. Not victory, not loss, but a test of frame. If you hold steady, she invests more. If you break, she regains control. The choice and the power remain with you. When silence and random texts don't bring you back, she often turns to a louder stage social media. She posts smiles, quotes about independence, or pictures from nights out. On the surface, it seems casual. In reality, she's testing if you will break your silence. This is not about sharing her life. It's about drawing your attention. A single like or comment from you would confirm she still holds power. Many men fall here. They see her photo, feel the pull, and respond. In that instant, all the strength of their silence disappears. Marcus Aurelius said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Her performance is not true. It's a tactic. Your job is not to chase it. Your job is to remain steady. Consider David, a lawyer from Chicago. When he pulled back, Amanda filled her feed with polished photos and glamorous nights. He refused to bite no likes, no comments, no recognition. The more he held back, the more she escalated, until eventually she admitted she wondered why he hadn't reacted. His silence increased her respect. Epictetus taught, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid with regard to external things." On social media, restraint looks foolish to the crowd. But true strength is not seeking their approval or hers. So treat her posts as noise. If she is truly interested, she will come directly. If not, her silence will tell you everything. By refusing to react, you reveal her intentions more clearly than words ever could. When social media no longer pulls you back, she often changes tactics. She acts like she doesn't care. She posts less, goes quiet, and tries to appear unaffected by your silence. To the untrained eye, it looks like she has moved on. But often, it is just another test. People don't like losing control. When attention-seeking fails, indifference becomes the new mask. She hopes, pretending not to care, will draw you in. Many men panic here. They rush to explain themselves, desperate to prove they still matter. In doing so, they hand her back all the power. Epictetus said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. Her indifference is only powerful if you believe it." True detachment needs no performance. Pretend indifference always tries to be seen. Think of a woman who has genuinely moved on. She lives her life quietly, without sending signals. Compare that with one who goes silent just long enough to make sure you notice her calm. The difference is clear. One is truth, the other is theater. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Her act is an outside event. You cannot control it, but you can control your reaction. So when she pretends not to care, stay steady. Don't chase, don't explain, don't seek clarity. Realize that her performance is only a mirror of her struggle with your silence. Hold your frame and let her decide whether she will return with honesty instead of games. When indifference no longer shakes you, she may escalate to one of her boldest moves, trying to make you jealous. She mentions another man, or posts pictures with someone else, hoping to stir your emotions. At first, it feels like a direct threat, but most of the time, it is simply a performance. Why does she do this? Because jealousy is one of the fastest ways to test your control. If you react by questioning her, showing insecurity, or confronting her, she knows she still holds power. But if you remain calm, her tactic backfires. Instead of proving her value, she reveals her vulnerability. Epictetus said, "If someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation. The danger is not her action, is your reaction." If you let jealousy rule, you hand away your strength. But if you stay steady, you prove your peace cannot be bought or broken. Consider Tom, a contractor from Texas. When he pulled back, Lisa hinted at another man in conversation, even posted a group dinner photo sitting beside him. Tom felt the sting, but didn't take the bait. He stayed grounded, focused on his work. Weeks later, Lisa admitted she was only testing if he cared. His calm increased her respect. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Applied here, her attempt to provoke you as an outside event. It doesn't define your worth unless you let it. So when jealousy appears, see it for what it is, a test, not truth. Don't react, don't compete, don't chase. Hold your frame. And you'll see her games for what they really are. Signs that your silence has unsettled her more than she wants to admit. At some point, when silence lingers and her tactics fail, she may circle back, but rarely with full honesty. Instead, she often tries to return on her own terms. A vague text like, "just checking in," or a casual memory of a restaurant you went to. These aren't genuine reconnections, they are probes. She wants to see if you'll drop everything for minimal effort. Many men fail here. They're so relieved to hear from her that they rush back without boundaries, accepting crumbs of attention. In doing so, they confirm she doesn't need to invest real energy to keep them. The cycle begins again. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Applied here, you don't argue, you don't demand, you don't chase. You live your standards. If her effort is weak, you don't reward it. If it's vague, you remain neutral. Respect is built on consistent action, not breadcrumbs. Consider the lesson of Tom's friend, who after weeks of silence, received a half-hearted "hey stranger" from his ex. Instead of dropping everything, he responded calmly, but did not pursue. Over time, she either had to step forward with clarity or step aside. His standards forced her to show whether she truly valued him. Seneca wrote, "He who is brave is free," and bravery here means the willingness to lose her, rather than compromise your dignity. You're not desperate for her return. You're open to it, but only if it comes with respect. So when she comes back on her terms, recognize it for what it is, a test. Pass it by holding your standards. Fail it, and you fall back into the same cycle of giving more than you receive. When silence and her small tests fail, she may play her biggest card, pretending to move on. She posts photos with new people, talks about being happy, or hints at a new man in her life. At first, it looks like she has replaced you. But often, it is just another performance meant to trigger jealousy. The truth is simple. People who truly move on don't announce it. They live their new life quietly. Pretend moving on, however, is loud, obvious, and directed at you. Her display is not proof of strength, but of struggle with the silence you created. Richard's story makes this clear. When he stopped chasing, Melissa began posting dinners with another man, making sure mutual friends would mention it. But Richard saw through the act. He stayed focused on his work, calm and steady. Later, she admitted it was all to get his attention, not a real relationship. Marcus Aurelius taught, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Her actions are not truth, but tactics. Your response defines whether they succeed. Seneca also reminds us, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. Wasting time on her performance means losing your frame. By refusing to react, you protect your energy and force reality to reveal itself. So when she pretends to move on, don't chase, don't confront, and don't compete. See the show for what it is. A sign your silence still carries weight. Remain steady and let her reveal whether she truly values you or only values control. When pretending to move on doesn't work, she often turns to a quieter tactic, asking about you through others. A mutual friend, a coworker, or someone in your circle suddenly mentions she was curious. How's he been? Or is he seeing anyone? On the surface, it feels harmless. But underneath, it reveals her investment without exposing vulnerability. If she truly didn't care, she wouldn't waste energy gathering information. This is a way to keep control, reaching for answers without the risk of being ignored directly. Many men make the mistake of rushing back when they hear she's asking about them. But that's exactly what she wants, to draw you out while she keeps her pride. Epictetus warned, "If you seek truth, you will not trouble yourself about what others think of you." Her questions through others are not truth. They are noise. Treat them as such. Consider Mark, who, after weeks of silence, heard from a friend that his ex was asking about him. Instead of reaching out, he stayed steady, letting her decide if she truly wanted to step forward. In time, she did because his silence forced her to show real intent instead of hiding behind whispers. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Gossip is an outside event. You cannot control it, but you can control how you respond. By refusing to react, you show strength and self-respect. So when you hear she's asking about you through others, do nothing. If she wants answers, she must come directly. Access to you requires courage, not backdoor questions." That is how a Stoic man keeps the frame. After all the games, there comes a stage where she mirrors your silence. Instead of testing or posting, she goes quiet too. For many men, this feels like defeat. Doubt creeps in. Maybe she's moved on. Maybe the silence no longer matters. But often, it is just another test. Who will break first? Silence is a power move. When you use it, you signal strength. When she mirrors it, she's trying to reclaim that power. The man who panics and breaks first usually loses the frame. Mark's story shows this clearly. After weeks of pulling back, his partner Jennifer stopped reaching out. No calls, no messages. To Mark, it looked like detachment. But in truth, she was watching closely, waiting to see if he cracked. Instead, Mark used the time to work on his health, career, and friendships. Weeks later, Jennifer returned, admitting she had mirrored his silence to test him. His patience deepened her respect. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. Wasting silence on anxiety and chasing is the true loss." A Stoic man sees silence not as emptiness, but as space to invest in himself. Marcus Aurelius reminded, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Her silence is an outside event. You cannot control it, but you can control your response. Steady, disciplined. So when she mirrors your silence, don't panic. Don't rush to fill the void. Use the time to grow. If she breaks first, you'll see her true interest. If she doesn't, you still win because you never abandoned yourself to chase validation." After all the silence and every attempt to shift the balance, there comes a breaking point. She chases again. It rarely begins with a dramatic confession. More often, it's a small message. "Hey, how have you been?" Or a playful comment on something you posted. Sometimes she asks to meet or admits she's been thinking of you. Whatever the form, the silence has created pressure she can no longer ignore. At first, it may feel like victory, but the truth is, this moment is not about her, it's about you. If you rush back with excitement, you undo everything, proving she still controls the dynamic. But if you remain calm, steady, and measured, you see clearly whether her return is genuine or just another test. Marcus Aurelius said, "If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth." Applied here. Don't reject her out of pride, but don't accept blindly either. Observe her actions. Truth reveals itself through consistency, not words. Richard's example is telling. After weeks of silence, his partner returned, first with casual texts, then with open admission of missing him. Because he didn't collapse at the first sign, he saw her sincerity unfold over time. His patience turned a test into real clarity. Epictetus taught, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Her return is an outside event. What matters is how you respond with discipline, not impulse. So when she chases again, remember, the real victory isn't her message, her call, or her sudden attention. The real victory is who you've become in the silence, stronger, calmer, and unshaken. Whether she stays or goes, you have already won.